Hello and welcome back to another ALTTPR League match here in Week 3 of Season 3. I am Ben Creighton. I am joined by Tracy M. How you doing, Tracy?
I'm doing great. A lot of Link to the Past going on tonight as we try and get through the third week. A lot of these runners probably want to get their matches in before SG Live starts up over the weekend. So not really surprising that a lot of matches today, a few matches tomorrow. I think we got a good one here. A Dataplet versus Hitaka. Forfeit is RS versus Shack Tools Dig Game. Hitaka's team is 3-1. Forfeit is RS 1-3. So kind of a big one for Dataplet and Forfeit is RS. Don't want to get too far behind. Shack Tools Dig Game want to just keep the pressure on. That division, I believe, is tied with several teams at 3-1. So if they can get a win here, they can maybe get themselves an edge.
Absolutely, and there are no easy matches here in the Invitational League. It is absolutely stacked, so we should be in for a good race. Here, if you're just joining us for Week 3, settings this week are standard start casual boots, meaning, as you can see on the item screens, both of our runners do start with boots and sword.
And here we go. Now, of course, the one sad thing about this start is that we don't have there's not a whole lot differences. You know, they're going to have the boots, they're going to have the sword. Because they have the boots, they don't necessarily and that 20 means they would have the boots anyway. Shout out to Juicy. That's too funny. But yeah, they're going to have the boots, they're going to have the sword, so they're going to be able to bonk out the back of the sewers. They don't really have to find bombs, so it's not going to be a big bomb search as much. They might see if they can farm something for Kakariko, but you'll see most of the runners. I haven't seen a lot of runners doing that, so I don't expect to see that here.
Yeah, it makes does make for some pretty subtle changes in the strategy, most of which don't really come into play until after this escape sequence.
And we got arrows, which only do us good if you find a bow, so not very interesting. So yeah, the very beginning is just going to be about execution. And see if one of them can get a lead coming out of the escape. And so far, Dataplet doing a nice job, taking a tiny bit of a lead. Not going to mean much right now, but you never know, every second can count.
Yeah, it just depends on a whole lot of things in the next hour and a half or so. But I've always been a fan as a spectator of standard starts. Just that little bit of sync at the beginning just to get a sense of side-by-side comparison of raw execution on the runner's parts.
Well, more arrows, so if we do find a bow in here, we're going to be set. But that would be not expected. Hopefully there's something good in the escape before they get out of the castle. Okay, and another check we have, after we kill the blue guard for his key, a flute. Oh, that's a nice find before we go to Kakariko.
We are just going to be zip-zapping around the map today.
And of course, we're going to get to the bottom here. And one nice thing about doing the start here is you don't have to worry about saving this green guard for a death warp later on. So Dataplet's just going to go ahead and kill him.
Yeah, as a spectator, I like standard start. As a runner, it's just real nice not having to worry about when do I route this stuff in. There never seems to be
absolutely.
a convenient time.
Yeah, as a spectator, I really like the standard start where you get the random item, just because you get to see different strats with different items, with different strange items that you wouldn't normally do the escape with. But the boots makes this a lot faster, which is also kind of nice. So I'm going to run along the top here. It's a little bit more optimal to do that route that Dataplet was using. Hitaka going the more standard way, which is faster when you don't have the boots.
Yep, typically you're in an NMG run, you're aiming for about a 6-minute escape sequence, depending on your skill level. With these boots, it's going to be closer to 5.
Yeah,
and it's real nice.
The other day I did a race with a mirror, so that even cut it down even more. That's always a nice thing to find early. Okay, our next check is going to have to be the small key, so really no anticipation there. Got to be able to get to the back.
And we did get a map check. We were looking at a vanilla green pendant in Eastern, and then 2 blue crystals in Desert and Tower of Hera.
And neither runner taking any time to check prize pack, so they're not going to worry about bombs until after this. There's that key.
Yeah, not much sense slowing down for prize packs at this point. You do typically want some bombs before you get into CAC Village, but there's plenty of places to look for them if you still feel like you need to after getting out of escape here.
Okay, let's see what we have in the back here. In the sewers we have rupees, and bombs. Well, okay, there you go. There are our starter bombs. And that'll be enough rupees that they'll be able to do the bottle vendor when the time comes, so pretty good. And have we seen the map? Trying to remember if we've seen the map yet.
I think we have, but
Okay.
our runners will have been paying closer attention than we have.
Yeah,
we have
there's-
not.
okay.
There's the bombs.
Okay, so we got 6 bombs going to Kakariko. Decent amount of money. We'll see if either one of them goes straight to the village. Although with boots, we're going to do bonk rocks first for sure. And probably going to get that lumberjack check since we do have those boots already. A lot of times runners will wait until they have the boots to check that, but in this case, we already have them. So we can already get the item if Aga does become a thing. And heart container. Oh, and it's Sank heart.
Would you consider that a French vanilla Sankart?
Pretty close, yeah. Sure.
It looks like Hitaka actually bypassing those bonk rocks. Not going to hurt him too much, but...
No, not going to hurt him. But yeah, it may be a product that I'm seeing in chat that he's not really used to standard, so we'll see. I believe that was also a heart container sitting there on the lumberjack, so not going to be killing Aga for that. And more bombs. Since we already got 6, Dataplet says, you know what, I've got enough. And that makes sense because the big place for bombs in these, if you don't, when you get out of the village, is Mini Moldorm Cave. But of course, we were given a sword, so we don't need those bombs there nearly as much. Unfortunately, just one rupee in the drop down here.
Not that money's going to be too much of an issue for a while, at least not till we get to the point where we start worrying about 500 for Zora.
Yeah, we're nowhere close to that, so we're not going to really be thinking about that right now. Unless we find flippers or gloves, and then it becomes logically something to think about, and you have to make decisions based on that. Nice early half magic. It's a good luxury item to get. And a whole lot of health here. And we already got our Master Sword. And of course, that automatically starts putting Aga on the radar. No lamp yet, though.
Yep, that would be the other thing. It needed to put it into logic. Of course, without Moon Pearl, it only opens up one item.
And there's a hammer. Another piece of heart. And a hook shot. Early hook shot's really nice.
Yeah, this is definitely a pretty stacked early game.
And more arrows. We have full-on 30 arrows already. Dataplet remembering to activate his flute.
Yep, and together with the hook shot, that's going to put East Death Mountain into play.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if either one of these runners decides to hit that area earlier. Traditionally, you'll see runners go to the South Shore after the Kakariko village, but then that Death Mountain is awfully tempting with that Paradox Cave. And a clearable Tower of Hera. Well, potentially a clearable Tower of Hera.
Yeah.
Although we do hookshot and boost, we can Herapod if the key's in the basement.
Yep, so it'll be clearable. It might be logically fire-locked, but
yeah.
Since when has logic stopped anyone?
And we are getting a whole lot of heart containers here in Kakariko, so nice early start health-wise. Seems like almost everything was either a decent item or a heart container or a piece of heart. Let's see what's in the library. And just a piece of heart at this point. Dataplet says no to that. No surprise. He's gonna blind check the race game. Already has his flute out to flute away to wherever he's gonna go next, because he could flute right over to that dam or he could flute right over to the mountain. Hitaka gonna just check it. And 20 rupees he's gonna save and quit out of there. And Dataplet decides to just go ahead and pick it up, and yeah, he's gonna pick it up. I mean, 20 rupees. You already went to the trouble going there, so I guess I can see it.
Yeah. Early in the seed, money might still make a difference. It looks like Dataplet's gonna take a look at a bottle on Desert Ledge and then give us a look at what's in Agina.
Yeah, I outlined 2 possibilities, and he did a 3rd one, so there you go.
Looks like Hitaka remembered that those bonk rocks. Picked up that sand cart.
Gets that sand cart, and we'll see if he flutes away. Yeah, and didn't lose him too much time.
And just a piece of heart in Agina. I do like the early Agina play when you have that flute. It doesn't take that long to check, and every once in a while you big brain some nice progression there.
Yeah, flute plus boots makes that a very quick check. Hitaka gonna go ahead and rescue the old man, get his save quit spot, and check the mountain area. Let's see where Dataplet goes next. Gonna do the more traditional South Shore.
Yeah, so this will be our first little bit of real divergence between our runners.
I mean, I'd never fault anybody from going the traditional route that Dataplet's doing. I also like this choice from Hitaka, so both good choices from our runners. We'll see which one pays off better. Chances are they're just going to switch places after they're done with these checks, though. And more bombs. And with only 2, he's going to go ahead and grab those. I think that's smart.
Yeah, you're going to need 1 to get into Mini Mold, and another if he decides to continue on to Ice Rod Cave. Having no bombs is not a comfortable position.
Not at all. Gonna make good use of that hook shot. Hook shot in Moldorms is very nice. Just 5 rupees in Spectacle Rock Cave, and we do see a Moon Pearl on Dataplet's side, and some money. Oh, Hitaka. Oh, no.
Oh, that is most unfortunate.
I've never seen that before. Yeah, falling right in between those rocks without a glove.
Yep.
Well, he has to flute away. And Dataplet realized it's a little bit faster to flute here to get back to the Ice Rod Cave. He's going to go ahead and do that.
Yep, and finding that Moon Pearl may change his plans just a little bit. It does open up some extra water walking shenanigans. If he decides to break logic and head into Flipper area, he's pretty close to Zora money.
He could water walk without the Moon Pearl, but you can actually combine water walking with fake flippering to store a water walk to get the ledge item. You don't really see a lot of runners doing that unless they see the item is something really good. You know, if there's like a glove to get you around the Agaplay or something, then you could definitely see doing that and going back for it. He's gonna go over there, gonna hope that he can get some money here in the cave.
Ooh, takes
And
an
he
unfortunate bonk and loses his water walk there.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate there.
I mean, it could be worse. None of it's actually in logic. It's easy enough to get back there with the flute if he decides that's the play later. Looks like we got some blue mail here in Paradox Cave.
Nice safety. And money, so when Hitaka gets over to his South Shore checks, he's going to be able to go straight to Zora and have the money for it. Can't... Well, I guess he could do a bomb jump because he's got the blue mail, but he'll leave him with half a heart, so don't blame him for skipping it. And we're going to get the Saha check. Nothing. Just some rupees and a piece of heart. See if he decides to head into Eastern Palace. I can't finish it, but it is a pendant, so... Nope, he's going to go ahead and flute. And he's going to go up to Death Mountain, which makes sense.
Yeah, there will be plenty of other chances if Eastern looks like the play.
And Hitaka, meanwhile, is going to go over to the Tower of Hera. And our first item is bombs. And we do see the big key, so Hera pot not needed. It would be a time save if you can get it right away. But with the big key right there, it's not as big a deal. I always find the Hera pot play an interesting one because when it saves the most time is when it's the most risky. But this is a full clearable crystal dungeon for them, or should be. I shouldn't say full clearable. There could still be an item in the basement, but we will be able to get the crystal. Dataplet doing a better job jumping off the mountain. Does not land in that bad spot.
And Hitaka pulling the small key in the map, not what you want to see, because if that compass is on Moldorm, that means we've got an item in the basement.
And it's an item we're not getting right now because we do not have a fire source. Oh, Hitaka misses the pixel and gets bumped back down. Having just generally having little mistakes as he's going up the mountain.
Yep, I'm not brave enough to attempt that dash.
No,
not in a race.
Oh my god, that's gotta hurt. Falling down 2 flights. Let's get the dash second time around, so.
Alright, we're back for Moldorm 2, Electric Boogaloo. The rematch.
Yeah.
Moldorm 1-2, I should say. There's an actual Moldorm 2. We'll see him later.
Alright, takes him down. Extra hammers to boot. And we get a glove! Nice.
Ooh.
Okay, so that is our Dark World access, although Hitaka will have to get to the South Shore to get his Moon Pearl, but I suspect he heads there now.
It definitely seemed to be the next obvious place to go.
Looks like he's going to hit Spiral Cave first. Doesn't want to leave this orphaned.
Yeah, there are so many spots like Spiral and Spike Cave on the mountain, spots that end your mountain trip functionally. You want to make sure to end that trip there if you can.
Yeah,
so
in Hitaka's case, he hasn't gotten the Moon Pearl, so he's going to want to make sure he does this, because to him, it could be here. I could see Dataplet skipping it if he wants to save a little bit of time. That is a Tempered Sword, so that's... we're already a Tempered Sword less than 20 minutes in, so that's certainly nice. Hitaka fluting to 7, so he'll get his Moon Pearl in just a second. We'll see if he continues on into Zora. A little bit different call for him because he does have all of Dark World to go into if he wants to, or will have it at that point.
Yep, and with that, both of our runners are going to be finding their Dark World access at right around the same time here, as Dataplet tears his way through Hera Tower, almost taking a fall, but taking out that worm on the first try.
Okay, let's see if he also does the Spiral Cave, gets his Tempered Sword. Would make sense. Yeah, he's heading that way. And Hitaka looks like he's going to go ahead and skip the Ice Rod Cave for now. And this could be a trip into Hype Cave. And we have Pendant Ice, 5-6 at Pod and Mire. I missed the other pendant, though.
And according to our eagle-eyed tracker, it looks like we've got... Oh no, Pendant Ice, that was what you said.
Yeah. Oh, Pendant Thieves is the other one. Okay.
Ah.
Shoutouts to Reg, our tracker, one of the best. Making sure, keeping us honest, clicking those buttons. And we see a mirror in the Hype Cave.
That's a nice find.
I feel like we're seeing a lot of Pendant Thieves today.
Yeah, it's an interesting one to find a pendant when your Dark World access is through Hammer. You've got that full clearable dungeon with quite a few items accessible right from the get-go.
Yeah, I expect we'll see the front check, the front 4 check. May not see either one of the runners go in the back. Although, I've seen a couple races recently where runners have stayed away from Village Outcasts in Thieves Town. Ugh, just a single arrow.
Yeah, it does seem to be the trend lately.
See if Stumpy has anything for us. Also, nice with that mirror, Hitaka can route up towards the Village of Outcasts by going west here and just mirror and then flute back to Kakariko to get over there. And let's see what the dig game has for us. So we can get our money back if we want it. At 749 rupees, that's enough for both Pod and Zora, so not too concerned about that. And it was just a big 20 in the end. Okay, and Hitaka gonna go ahead and flute to Kakariko just like I suggested, and gonna go and do Village Outcasts. Dataplet gonna do his dig game. We'll also get those 20 rupees. Hitaka gonna go dip Skull Woods, it looks like. Obviously we can't finish this dungeon without a fire rod. It looks like Dataplet was gonna save and quit, but then realized I do have a mirror, so he's probably gonna mirror up towards and flute to the village. Or flute to Kakariko just as well. Okay, we get another 300 rupees. Money just not gonna be an issue today. Hitaka gonna go down the hole. I'm not a fan of this with the change. There's no guarantee of a small key here. He did this in a previous race and did get stuck, so...
Yeah, as I understand it, it's a relatively small chance of getting stuck, but why take the chance at all?
Yeah, we do see the second item, though, so at least we're Skullwoods with nothing good. And he does get the key, so he will be able to get out this time.
That turned out to be the most efficient way to clear this dungeon this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Dataplet not going to go into Skullwoods, it looks like. We'll see if Hitaka does some North Darkworld checks or if he heads over into the village outcast. And we're heading to the village. Or not. Chess game was just more 20 rupees. Bumper ledge with 10 arrows. That's been an important location today, too. We saw a fire rod and an ice rod in previous races today. But nothing in this one.
Meanwhile, Dataplet heading into Thieves Town, gonna check at least those first 4, finding the big key in the first chest.
Could be up to 3 items in the front. Gets a heart container. I can't see him going to the back yet. There's too many other things we can do at this point. But we'll see. Graveyard ledge just with 20 rupees. $50 rupees. I'll get a King's Tomb check from Hitaka. And 300 rupees. Okay, more money. Is he gonna continue? It looks like he is gonna continue. This really surprises me, where we've got 3 items in the front of Thieves Town. Only 1 more item left. And more rupees in King's Tomb. Because why not?
Yeah,
this will be really big if he gets something out of this. If there's a good item here, this will be really big.
That's a long way to go for just 1 item. Meanwhile, Hitaka opting to turn back around and head back into the Dark Village area.
Yeah, and that makes sense, because, you know, he did the north stuff. There's less stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Canis and Maria.
Red Canin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dataplet will get that, so. We're both going to have our red canes. Not going to have to search for that. That's one of those items. It doesn't really open anything right now, but it sure is nice not to have to search for. And the question is, if Dataplet gets the 3rd item, is he going to mirror right on out, or is he going to go ahead and actually do the blind fight? This isn't the green pendant, so unless pet is a thing, it's not really going to really get him anything.
Yeah, and with ice as a pendant, that pedestal can't have his titans. It could have one of the medallions for Meyer or Trock.
It could have a rod. They're always annoying. We haven't seen the 3rd item yet, so maybe very well be that. In fact, yeah, the item is on blind because we didn't get a small key. So small key in the big chest. Now, interesting. I wonder if Hitaka will do the same thing after he sees these first 3 items, because now we are starting to run out of items. We can go to pod, but we don't have a bow. So we'd have to potentially have to sequence break the back. We do have Catfish and Zora.
Yeah, we haven't seen the inside of Eastern. That's 3 items.
Yep. Looks like Hitaka's also going to continue on. But interesting choices that both our runners made. And it's just 10 arrows. So definitely not worth it, but it'll be the same time loss for both runners.
Yeah, at this point, the more interesting thing is how does it affect their mindset going forward? Are they going to feel behind because they took the time for that out-of-the-way check, not knowing that the other runner did the same?
Yeah, I know it would make me feel behind, so that's kind of my guess. Let's see if Dataplet now switches it up and does all the checks that Hitaka's already done. It would make sense. It's pretty easy to pass. But all we've just seen money, money, and more money. Dataplet will get his cane, but like I said, that doesn't open anything yet.
Yeah, at this point, I could see a strong argument for doing those north mirror checks, maybe Kern jumping over to Catfish, mirroring out during Zora.
Looks like he's going to do the Skullwoods play. He'll get his rupees and Skullwoods and then be done. And this might take him longer because, you know, we don't see a lot of people taking the risk of dropping down the hole anymore. So we'll see if he does that or if he gets goes to the middle, checks that area, maybe steals the key.
My understanding of the key logic is that if you don't find a small here in this first chest or in the middle, at that point you are safe to drop down even without stealing the key, because you're assured that a small key will be in the front.
Yeah, you can't have a small key on Moth, so it kind of starts limiting it right there. And there's a small key there, so he's just going to grab that. And so he's going to lose a little time compared to what Hitaka did. But it's definitely safer, and it's probably what I would do as well. And yeah, chat pointing out the small key can, of course, be in the big chest. Okay, Hitaka gonna make quick work of blind, gonna get his 10 arrows, gonna feel sad that there was nothing here. And we'll see what he decides to do next. Maybe a little less likely to go for a Kern jump just because like Dataplet's route is gonna take him that direction. So if that's something he does, I could definitely see him doing it. We'll see what Hitaka decides to do. Mirrors and gonna flute somewhere.
Yeah, Hitaka was already up there doing King's Tomb. I feel like if you're gonna Kern jump, that's the time.
Exactly. Gonna go over to Pod Eastern. Okay, that's a good choice. Unfortunately, no bottle, so if he's gonna sequence break Pod at all, he will have to do a Mimic Clip. I don't believe, okay, maybe he... I don't recall Hitaka checking Saha earlier. I know Dataplet did. We know it's nothing, so not going to lose anything by not checking it. We'll at least open up Pod. We'll see if that's where he's going to go into.
And it looks like it is, with neither dungeon being clearable with no bow. I think you could make an argument for heading into Eastern first, hoping to...
Yep. Eastern guaranteed you can get 2 items. Pod, you might not be able to get any items in Logic. You do see a small key, so we're not immediately bow locked.
And if you get really lucky, you get a filled bottle in Eastern, and then you can go in and get that bow locked stuff in Pod.
If you're really lucky, you get a bow somewhere around here.
That's true.
We do see just 20 rupees, and he's going to drop down. We'll find out now if this is completely bow locked or not.
And Dataplet was having a little trouble with his Kern jump. He was attempting that particular routing, but opts to save some bombs and nope out instead.
Okay, we do see a small key in the drop down, so Hitaka has some choices. Let's see if he decides to go to the back. So he's pretty much staying in logic. Dataplet probably also going to head over to pod, maybe check the pyramid on his way. Maybe check catfish on his way. He didn't quite make it over there.
Hitaka technically leaving logic at this point as he heads into the dark room with no lamp and no fire rod, but let's get real. Who worries about lamp?
Yeah, ooh, Mitts. That's a good find. So Mitts behind a fire source. Yeah, the lamp logic is good to know. Even when you're breaking the logic, you want to keep track of it, because it can tell you stuff. Although the biggest thing it can tell you is things like, if you find the lamp on Death Mountain, it'll tell you that the flute is not there. That type of thing. But, ooh, and a gold sword. But as to actually following that logic, yeah, none of the runners in the Invitational are gonna shy away from dark rooms. And I'm gonna do the hammer jump here to save himself a key. Of course, we don't have the big key yet, so if the big key is vanilla or on the right side, he'll have to go get that later. But he can at least check these other two items. And maybe the big key is in the dark maze.
And that was a fire rod on the catfish,
Ooh.
so both of our runners finding some different progression.
That's a big one. Yeah, I hate to say it, but it might be a little longer before Hitaka gets to that fire rod than it is going to be for Dataplet to get the mitts. Okay, we've gotten everything out of the dark maze, and Hitaka's going to go ahead and check the big key chest, which could be just key for a key. Just a bug net at Zora. So catfish being the main prize. We do get one more key. Hitaka not going to worry about the right side. That's going to be, I believe that's going to be big key, small key, if I counted the items correctly. And not going to go into Easter. Oh, he's going to do Saha now. Maybe he just remembered now he didn't do it. And Dataplet making an interesting play here. Going up the mountain. What is he? They did not leave an item in Hera, so that fire rod doesn't get them anything. He didn't just come here for that piece of heart. He has 14 hearts. Ooh, this is on the edge of enough for Spike Cave without a safety. I think he can just make it.
Yeah, I believe 14 is the cutoff. Although that one missed clink might be all that it takes to screw it up. I'm not well versed in this. Oh no, he's fine.
He made it.
He's comfortable.
And
he finds a bottle.
That's so funny one. We do see Hitaka deciding to check out the Mire area. We did see Quake as the medallion. We have no medallion, so it really doesn't matter other than just the knowledge. Hitaka gonna get that fairy in a bottle, so now both our runners have bottles. And Dataplet going to buy a potion, and that might be for the pod play, although I would buy a green if I'm buying it specifically for, of course, with this much money, it just doesn't matter.
Dataplet thinking, I made that edge play, I got this bottle, I want to see if it pays off, and it does with a bow.
That's actually pretty big. He'll be able to go do pod Eastern right now. I don't know if he'll do Eastern, but probably gonna go straight, no? Yeah, he's gonna go straight to pod. He'll be able to finish this off. But yeah, with that bottle in hand for Hitaka, I suspect he will flute over there and get his bow soon too. And we do find flippers in desert. So that might incentivize him to get to catfish a little bit sooner, because now we can do, without doing any kind of shenanigans, you can do the catfish plus Zora all in one trip. The catfish play a lot nicer play if you can combine it with 4 other checks.
Yeah, that's true. Although with those flippers, mirror titans, well, not titans don't enter into it, but that crystal swamp is sitting right there.
It is indeed, but I mean, you're gonna have to do that at some point anyway. So if you do, so with the fire rod not mattering for that particular play, I could see, unless something in swamp takes him away from it. But it's interesting, the beginning of the seed, it just felt like the 2 runners were mostly following each other. A little bit of a, one doing one, the other doing the other thing, and then switching. And now we're in very divergent paths. Once they left Thieves Town, there's a lot of differences here. Hitaka getting his piece to heart in Agina's cave and is going to save and quit. We'll see if he goes into swamp or if he goes and does those checks. I mean, to be fair, doing, it's a crystal dungeon that's full clearable. There's really no reason not to do it first. Meanwhile, Dataplet's going to give us a look at the right side here. Like I said, I'm pretty certain this is going to be small key, big key.
Fairly sure you're correct.
Which means the only bow lock part of the dungeon is the big chest itself. And of course the back, which is always bow locked no matter what. Yep, small key, big key. So the big danger for Hitaka here is if Dataplet gets something really good in the big chest. And Dataplet's just going to go to the back, which I like this play. He can go ahead and just kill Helmasaur now, and then he can just pop right back in to get the items. I can't imagine he doesn't go back in for the items. He would definitely regret if he did, because of those myths.
Yeah, there's not much that you can find on Helmasaur that would make you leave this dungeon at this point, but you got to do it anyway, and it doesn't take any longer to do it in this order, so why not?
Nope. Yeah, especially with that mirror to get out of the dungeon once you get the last items when you go back in. First item in Swamp Palace, just some bombs. And with that fire rod, the Dark Turtle room is going to be much easier for him. So he gets lots of shots of getting the torch lit here. And you need quite a few. It's kind of hard to figure out where those torches are sometimes. It's good to have that extra magic to not have to worry about it.
Absolutely. It's one of those frustrating rooms where if you get the timing right on the first try, it's easy, but you miss it once, and now you're just fumbling around in the dark.
Okay, second swamp check for Hitaka. And arrows, so no dungeon items in the first 2. We'll see if he decides to do left side swamp first. To play, I'm not a big fan of. I've seen a lot more runners doing this with the diver down strats. But nothing worse than going over there without any dungeon items, like map compass or something.
Yeah, it's not fun. I tend to play it a little more safe and do left side, unless I have a compelling reason not to. But I would certainly consider not having found either dungeon item one of those reasons.
Yep. Does get the diver down right away. And the bomb will go off and the switch will flip. Has to go back up and jump back into the water.
It's always fun to see somebody in chat who hasn't tuned in for a randomizer match in a little while when that happens. Like, wait, what? You're allowed to do what now?
Exactly. Okay, we'll see if this left side swamp is going to pay off. I'm also curious to see what's in this big chest for pod here, so we'll be watching for that. Dataplet going to get his mitts very soon. And bombs, and then you can see what was on the other side, but it looks like not a payout at all.
Yep, the other one was map.
Ooh. And what's worse is now you're going to have the potential of having to still jump back in because you don't have that big key yet. Okay, Dataplet gets his mitts. So Hitaka, of course, will be hoping that the big key just locks itself in the big chest.
Yep, could also still be compass.
Could still be compass. We can see diver down again. And there's that big key and some rupees, so still could be... Yeah. He's gonna follow that big key right away. Which means, and he remembers to hold left out of the stairs so he doesn't get the stair glitch.
And it was just
the compass
all along.
Could have skipped it. Oh well. I don't blame him for going back and checking, but definitely not what you wanted to see.
Yeah, when you've got this many items between you and go mode, it makes sense to be a little thorough.
Sure.
It definitely feels bad, especially when it's something like that compass where if you just put it off until the end, you would have known that it was skippable.
Yeah. Now, interesting, I did not see it was in that big chest, but we do see an Eastern play from Dataplet.
Yeah, I like the play. It's 4 items counting that green pendant.
And he's got the bow to finish it with. If there's nothing here, though, that'll give some time back to Hitaka that he lost in the fact that he's going to have to double dip pod. Always nice to have tempered or gold sword in the Argus fight. The game intends you to only have master sword when you play this the first time. Not a fun way to do it. Okay, our tracker informing me that it is a compass in the big chest, and Dataplet skipped it. So Hitaka may also know that that's got to be a compass, and he's not going to have to go back for it. Even if he doesn't know at this moment, he will find out when he gets that blue cane on Helmasaur. Okay, and what is Hitaka going to do next? He's not mirroring and fluting. Could be the pyramid into catfish play.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty reasonable play at this point.
Also, Hitaka double checking his map. Hitaka, one of our runners that doesn't actually use a tracker. Okay, this feels like Flipper's checks, as he's going to start by doing the hobo, which is really nice way to route it in right here.
Yeah, if you have the option, it is such a long way to swim. And just a shield in Vanilla Big Key Chest here in Eastern. So far, not a whole lot of good coming out of this Eastern play.
And honestly, I'm not even sure that Hitaka goes... Once he gets that bow, I'm not even sure he goes straight back to pod. Like, he can do that anytime. It's only got... To him, he's got one item left in there, if he was counting, so... not much of a priority there. Okay, container heart on the pyramid. Hitaka decides he wants it. And it just doesn't make sense for him to go anywhere but catfish.
Yeah, he seems to agree. Heading in that direction.
I do wonder if these runners are going to get gated into pendant ice. We can't get into Mire yet. We have no medallions, so we can't get into Mire or Turtle Rock. We might see a Dark Death Mountain check, though, from one of the runners.
Yeah, that would strike me as a stronger play than a pendant ice at this juncture. You
Yeah,
get that
I agree.
information. What are you going to need to get into T-Rock? Plus just a whole bunch of item checks.
Now, Dataplet, on the other hand, having just gotten that green pendant, already has a pendant from Thieves Town. Hitaka gets his Fire Rod. Might be for him, he might be thinking, well, I've already done 2 pendants. May as well get that third one and see if Ped's a thing.
The other question is, when does Hitaka get back to the village to grab that bow?
And it looks like Eastern not giving us anything except a red boomerang. Well, funny enough, if Hitaka holds off on getting that bow, it could benefit him, because there's nothing behind the bow, unless Ped is a thing. He does have to get one eventually. Of course, with progressive bows, there could be another one out there somewhere. Let's see. He's going to grab the bug net. Save and quit out. Let's see where he heads to next. Okay, he's going to do Dark Death Mountain. Okay, was gonna do Darth Vader, then was gonna flute, and now is gonna flute. Okay. Okay, he's gonna turn that bottle. Nope, he is going to ice. Really? Okay.
Oh, he's going to, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, he's gonna, check Lake Hylia Island? Which
Yeah,
just
I
says
don't
50
think
rupees. Is he still going to ice? He's still going to ice. Dataplet, meanwhile, figures I can just full clear desert, which is something Hitaka couldn't do when he was over here earlier. Okay. Looks like he's thinking about it a little bit.
Quick swap is a new technology for some of us.
Yeah, I'm. Oh my god, quick swap just gets me into trouble.
I reach a point about halfway through any given run when my inventory starts to fill up and it starts to take a while to cycle through. You know what? I'm going back to the menu. It's fine.
Okay, now if there's something in ice, could be big. Now, I feel like Dataplet might get over here sooner, though, because he does have those 2 pendants. And first item is just a container heart. Okay, gets the icebreaker. Small key. And a quake. Oh, baby.
Ooh.
So that actually is required.
That is a very nice find. That'll
Hitaka
make
knows it.
Yeah, that'll make Mire clearable. That's also one of our 5-6 crystals. Of course, Hitaka has not yet discovered the bow to get the other one in pod.
Yep. there's our big key.
That also means that we're potentially only an ice rod hunt away from go mode here.
Well, no mode
Or
anyway.
no mode, yes. we being the royal we. You, I in the chat.
Yep. Okay, Hitaka not going to finish the dungeon, get some bombs. So knows it's a pendant, decides to leave. So that's only going to hurt him if there's a ped item. And at this point, I gotta believe he just goes and does Mire and Desert. Oh, gonna check the sick kid. Gonna get that bow. Okay, and let's see where Dataplet goes. I guess he hasn't checked the checkerboard cave, so he's gonna do that first. We know it's nothing. Oh, Hitaka never checked Ice Rod cave, so he's gonna take the time to do that now. Now let's see where Dataplet heads now. He's gonna head to the mountain. And we'll get to see a little bit, we'll get to find out our go mode, our go mode conditions, and let's see if we can find some nice stuff on Dark Death Mountain.
Looks like Hitaka might be making the same play here. I like this play, even knowing that he's got a clearable mire in front of him. It's real nice going into mire, knowing how deep do I have to go for go mode.
Yeah, exactly.
If I find an ice rod in mire, am I good? Can I leave?
Yep. Or if we find everything we need on Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, getting dead rocked always feels bad. And Hitaka with the medallion is going to go ahead and open this up from here just in case it is Quake. And it is!
We are down to a good old-fashioned ice rod hunt, ladies and gentlemen. That obnoxious little item that can be hiding just about anywhere.
Ice rod hunts are just the worst. Never mind.
World's shortest ice rod hunt, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, so that's really, really good for Hitaka. Oh, that book is terrible for Dataplet. Because Hitaka's going to go get his ice rod right now, and he will be in go mode at about 57.5 minutes. Dataplet, on the other end, has not been into Ice Palace and has not gotten his Quake medallion yet. And is going to follow that book first, which is exactly what you should do. You get a book, you hope it means something. The only real question for Hitaka is what order is he going to do stuff in? It really doesn't matter. And I suspect we're going to get the Bombos tablet check from Dataplet. I mean, he's going to get to Ice Palace soon. I mean, I think his other choice would be the Smith Chain. And given that he's already gotten 2 pendants, I just feel like Ice Palace is the better play.
Yeah, I think that would be the thing to pull him in that direction. And
Hitaka doesn't even check the other chest. Says, I've got my ice rod, I'm done.
Yep.
You just gotta go clear a few dungeons. So this is by no means over. Hitaka definitely with the advantage, though. Gonna do pod first, it looks like.
Yeah, Hitaka just about a dungeon behind, just in sheer clearage, but...
Yeah, he hasn't... Well, he's actually got to do Desert and Pod. Both of those will be very quick for him, as he's already cleared most of both of them. Of course, Dataplet hasn't done Swamp Palace, so right, you are right. He is one dungeon behind. But for Dataplet, he's gonna full clear Swamp Palace now, looking for that Quake Medallion. I can't imagine he skips left side. It'd be to his advantage to do so. We know there's nothing over there. So yeah, Pod is going to be super quick. He's just going to go the big. He knows the big key has to be over here on the right side, and he'll be able to go to the back from there. And then Desert, he's full clear the front, so he's just going to go straight to the back. Whereas Dataplet, unfortunately, hasn't found that Quake Medallion. It is going to full clear Swamp Palace here. And to be fair, I mean, I don't see a world in which you turn down a full clearable crystal swamp over a pendant ice. I can see taking I can see taking the risk of skipping left side, but I can't see doing ice before this in Dataplet's situation. And we'll never find that lamp. It's just out there somewhere. We're gonna finish this in the dark.
Yep. I've not been reading the logic. I could not begin to tell you where it might be hiding.
Yeah,
Smith chain, maybe.
Yeah, it could be Smith chain. Actually, it could actually show up in Meyer or TR as we look for big keys. But like I say, if you're in the Invitational League, you know how to do dark rooms, so not going to be an issue.
And Dataplet is heading into the back.
Yep. So he'll have a decision to make afterwards whether he wants to go back in for the right side. Sorry, the left side. Not doing diver down. Interesting. That actually explains a little bit. Like the before diver down was a thing, you very, very rarely saw runners do left side swamp before going to the back. So if you're a runner that doesn't do diver down, it makes a lot of sense to just go to the back first, no matter what.
Yeah, and if you're committing to the back first, knowing that there's only one item if you turn around and go back in, I think there's a pretty compelling argument for Dataplet to go ahead and skip left side altogether, which will help him some.
Yep, I'll save him some time. Okay, Hitaka getting his blue cane, which really doesn't do much good for us. He could go to Spike Cave if he wanted to, but can't see that happening. And this will, let's see. We still need to do Skull Woods. Neither runner has done Skull Woods, so we got to get to Desert, Meyer, Skull Woods. Again, the order doesn't really matter. Gonna do Desert Meyer first. My guess, you do Desert first to get that nice full. Well, I guess he's got full health, so it really doesn't matter. Hitaka goes straight to the back of Desert. Okay. Oh, he is gonna check it. That's a shame. That's gonna lose him a lot of time. I don't blame him for checking it. I mean, if it's the item, you could be thinking, well, maybe my opponent skips this. Doesn't want to leave a stone unturned at this point.
Yeah, and knowing that that big chest is still in there too, you're thinking, maybe it's just right there, and maybe I can still get away with skipping it, but it was not to be.
Not gonna happen. Bit of a messy start to the land mollusk fight, but he still manages to get 2 of them down in the first round. It gets makes quick work of the third one. And now we're gonna go into Mire, and we'll see if we have a nice God Mire, or if that big key is gonna elude us a little bit. Hitaka, you still need to... Okay, he may just be setting up Spooky. Nope, he's gonna do Skull first. Okay. With the flute, it's not that big a difference. I was a little surprised you wouldn't pair up the Desert Mire play at the same time.
Yeah, it'd be a little more typical, but...
Just hope he doesn't forget that he has to do Mire. Nothing worse than getting up to Ganon's tower and, yeah, it doesn't open for you.
Now, weren't you saying that he's one of the few runners that does not use a tracker?
He does not use a tracker.
Yeah, so that's not an oversight that I would that I would suspect of many folks, but the idea of not using a tracker is just so foreign to me that I don't know what's going through someone's head who doesn't.
Okay, Dataplet leaving the left side swamp empty-handed and probably gonna head over to... Yeah, he's heading over to ice. So making the right call. It'll save a little bit of time over Hitaka in this play, because Hitaka did stay in there for all 3 items. Dataplet not gonna have to do that. Is gonna check Lake Hylia Island first, though, it looks like. It's a pretty quick check, so yeah, no, I can definitely see doing this first. He also hasn't done the hobo. He's gonna do that first as well. It's a little bit slower.
Yeah, if you have it in your mind that your go mode item might be there, though, it's definitely not slower than going all the way through ice and only then checking it. Hitaka heading into his moth fight.
Yeah, it should be pretty easy with that gold sword. If Moth would just get off the spikes.
Yep. Well, that's the thing about Moth. You're not fighting the Moth, you're fighting the
spikes,
the bugginess, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Dataplet gonna go get his Quake and Ice Palace.
He's teasing us. Dataplet teasing us real hard.
Oh, okay. All right, he didn't check this because that's difficult to do. He would have had to do a splash deletion. He didn't have his flippers at the time. Yep. Okay, Hitaka double checking his path. So he knows he has to go do Mire.
All right, Dataplet, are you going to find some third different direction that I don't know about?
This has to be the ice plane.
Maybe he just wants more arrow capacity.
There you go. yeah, there you go.
I'm going to go into the Ganon fight with 35 silvers.
Meanwhile, Hitaka going to enter Misery Mire. We saw that Dataplet doesn't do Diver Down, but I gotta believe he does. This is a much more, in the scheme of things, the difference between doing Icebreaker and not doing it is a lot more significant than not knowing how to do Diver Down. So So no real surprise that he does do it. First item in Mire, a key. Got one more shot at the God Mire. And there's that Quake. And he's going to mirror right on out, so it saves a little bit of time in ice since he doesn't have to get that third item. But still a full dungeon. Well, not a full dungeon, because Skullwoods is a pretty quick one, but definitely a dungeon behind. And we did see the big key in the second chest, so we do get the God Mire.
Yes, indeed.
And Dataplet chooses to do Mire first, which is fine. Again, not a big difference. And the only thing that could make a difference is if there was a place you could find that lamp, and there isn't. At Skullwoods, we got both items, so it can't be there. So both are going to have to do Mire in the dark. Lamp could be in here, but we're not going to search it out.
Yeah, the silver arrows could make the Vidi fight a little bit easier, but again, there's just no place to search for them.
Nope. And of course, the one tricky thing is we are pretty, our health not great for this. We'll see if either one of them breaks out that Cane of Burna. Yeah, Hitaka's already ready with it. You can do some nice dash strats with the Cane of Burna. It doesn't take isn't too bad, especially with that gold sword. Kind of a fun way to kill Vidi, to be honest.
Yeah, that went nice and quick for Hitaka there. If it had been the cape, it would have been even quicker without that lag, but use what you got.
That's right. And I suspect a good chance we'll see the same thing for Dataplet. Oh, a powder! That's a nice luxury find. I always talk about the powder as my favorite luxury item, and it's nice to find it when you're already in Gomo, so you don't have to actually check it. And Hitaka just a Turtle Rock away from going into Ganon's Tower. And Turtle Rock usually very different between Go mode and not Go mode, so yeah, it's unfortunately one of the longer dungeons in the game.
Yep, this is when you want to do it though, right before GT. No climbing back down that mountain.
That's
it's a straight shot.
I also forgot Hitaka has that fairy there sitting in a bottle, so it does have a little bit of safety. I forget what Dataplet has in Dataplet has in his bottle though, because they have different bottles.
That's true. I believe he found a B, if I'm recalling correctly. Although, didn't he fill it up with blue goo at one point?
Yeah, he did. He did fill it up with blue. Because yeah, I recall now because he did that in anticipation of possibly doing a bottle glitch. But then found his bow, so didn't have to. That bow conveniently sitting on the sick kid. Okay, and we're entering Turtle Rock as Hitaka and Turtle Rock as Dataplet about to do the same dash strats. His eyeballs just stand no chance. Ooh, takes a lightning shot, but plenty of health to get around one of those. Also, shoutouts to Blue Mail, although even without Blue Mail he would have been okay, but still much safer with that Blue Mail. Gets his
Definitely
powder.
Keeps you just a little bit more comfy.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dataplet gonna have to go do Skullwoods now, which won't take him very long.
So Hitaka definitely with the advantage here, finding a cape there in Turtle Rock.
Yep, another one of those nice luxury items.
But this is definitely still the sort of race that could wind up going the other way, depending on GT big key location and a little bit of execution.
Yeah, it is definitely still close enough. Yeah, the biggest difference was that Eastern Palace full clear the Dataplet did after Pod, having had that bow. I was hoping that bow was going to lead to more than just the crystal in Pod. In fact, that bow didn't lead to anything, because unless you count the blue cane, because yeah, Eastern didn't give us anything, and Pod was basically not bow locked, except the back. Hitaka gonna go ahead and steal that key. Take that less than 5% chance that we had a small key in the big chest and in the lava chest, and you know that's usually the play to make. Your opponent's probably gonna do the same thing.
Dataplet taking out the moth with little trouble. About to climb the mountain for the last time and head to their own TR.
Oh, we don't have to do laser bridge. That's nice. Very, very favorable key layout here for our runners. And now just gotta navigate this dark room. Which honestly, once you know the pattern, is actually a pretty easy dark room to navigate. Just gotta know when to push the buttons, because once you push the button, you just hold it, and it's gonna go the way you want.
Yep, very generous timing window, no execution to speak of, just
know your inputs. We'll see if Hitaka chooses to powder an anti-fairy to get himself a refill. At 6 hearts, I mean, you know, he's just gonna go.
Yeah, with Gold Sword, Trinex is a pretty easy scripted fight.
Yep. Of course, you gotta actually hit the head. There we go.
Tends to be helpful.
Oh, he's one shot short on that firehead.
Yep.
Ooh, it takes the hit.
Oh! Now he does still have that fairy, I believe.
He does he does have the fairy. Saved by the fairy, because
yeah, that may have
that would have just evened this match up right then and there. I can tell Hitaka giving one of his teammates, Asher and Chad, a heart attack. Okay, does take him down. No longer has that fairy safety.
Yep, Dataplet entering Turtle Rock just as Hitaka is fixing to collect the final crystal and leave. And that being the final crystal, that means we have a little game that we like to play here.
Well, tell us about that game.
There are 22 chests in GT that could hold the GT Big Key. You can bet any of those 22. You can bet higher than 22 if you want. I wouldn't recommend it, but you do you.
Yep, go ahead and get those guesses. We'll be closing that out as Hitaka enters Ganon's tower. see which way he goes first. Gonna go to the right side, check the hope room. And get silvers, nice. And a piece of heart. We'll have to go to the left now, because no small key. Unless he wants to bet on tile room, and that just, no.
Yeah, that's a move for when you're feeling really behind, and I don't think Hitaka's feeling quite that behind.
Get the small key in the torch for number 3. And in the Stalfos room, we have number 4 is a piece of heart. 5 is the big key. And just gonna go ahead and mirror on out because we have 2 keys already. Just gonna go straight up. So unfortunately for Dataplet, big key routing not gonna help him out today.
There's not much more that Hitaka could possibly want to make his GT climb and Ganon fight any easier.
Yeah, the only things that could help him, I mean, red mail, I guess, but blue mail is pretty darn good. I always say the difference between red mail and blue mail is not nearly as much as the difference between green and blue.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's got the powder and bug net. He can put a fairy back in that bottle if he feels like he needs some safety. Should be in good shape.
With half magic, half magic and silvers, he should be fine. That's the one thing about not having the lamp that I think gets overlooked sometimes is that torch glitch for a silverless fight. It just becomes a little bit more difficult, a little more stressful when you have to hit it with the fire rod. But we have silvers now, so that's just not an issue.
Yeah. On the other hand, if a fairy's just gonna pop right up and present herself, why wouldn't you?
Why not? Just grab it. I mean, might as well make use of that bug net. I laugh at the bug net all the time. It's not and it's an item I skip a lot, but every once in a while, you might as well.
So, I don't get it. How do you beat Aga, though?
I use a sword. And Dataplet working his way through the dark room as Hitaka going through the gauntlet. I always find it a little weird at Ganon's Tower where it's like the gauntlet is just so tricky and you can take a ton of damage, and then there's like this, then you get Landmo, which if you can do quickly is very nice. And then you get this little break where it's not a whole lot of worry about dying. And then, of course, you get to the top and you get those anti-fairies or the bunny beam and the anti-fairy that you can just powder. Just these little sections of Ganon's Tower, the way it works out.
Yeah, it is a very well-designed game. The pacing is just impeccable. You can tell by this point the people designing it had been playing it a lot. Like, hey, what if we put a couple of rooms in here where you could just waste these whiz robes? That'd be pretty fun, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Love the Canis Tamari strats. Unfortunately, Hitaka puts that block in the wrong spot for it, but does get through anyway. The slow way, but it worked. And Dataplet finishing up his TR. We'll see if he also goes to the right side and picks up those silver arrows, or if he misses on them. If you do the Dark Magician strats, then good chance you're going to miss on those silvers.
Hitaka continuing to take little bits of damage here and there. I bet he's pretty happy that he did stop and grab that fairy in a bottle. It's always nice to know in the back of your head, it's okay, I'm safe.
Yep. And good that he gets, also probably really happy he has that powder, because now he shouldn't need it, because these rooms you should be able to get through without taking any damage, and now you just powder those fairies, grab that magic refill, and be good to go. Meanwhile, Dataplet entering Ganon's tower, and we'll see which way he chooses to go. And he is also going to go to the right side first, so he will get those silver arrows. Yeah, chat pointing out. Yeah, Hitaka with 2 arrows. He's actually going to have to do a little bit of silverless. Overlook some of the pots. There's actually quite a few pots on the way up that you can just pick up and get some arrows. And okay, well, it'll be 6 spins. See if well, it'd be interesting to ask him at what point he realized that his arrow count was what it was. We'll see if we get the see if he has trouble with that.
Making short work of the geometry wizard. As Dataplet finds his big key and begins his own ascent up the gauntlet.
Okay, Hitaka dropping into Ganon.
Ganon wants you to take a gander at his ornithology facts today.
Hitaka making good use of those iframes with that hook shot. See, he didn't need no stinking extra fairy. Although to be fair, it does, you know, it can make you just feel a little bit better and be able to play a little bit looser and go a little bit faster if you know you have that safety.
I taught a friend to play Link to the Past who had never played it before, and he's more used to modern games. And when I taught him about the hookshot iframes, he says, "Oh, this is like a Bloodborne dodge roll." Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and Hitaka realizing he just has the two arrows very much went for that torch glitch. Gonna go ahead and do the arrows first, and then he's gonna switch on over to the spins. So heads up there. Might have been better if you figured it out a little bit sooner, but this works. And unfortunately, mistimed that spin.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
And down goes Ganon.
Hitaka has only one bridge between him and victory. Can he make it? He makes it! Get your GGs in chat!
Well, Hitaka finishing with an official race time of 1:27.19. GG's Hitaka. Hitaka and Shack Tool's digging game gonna go to 4-1, stay top of that division. Dataplet gonna finish this out. Unfortunately, they're gonna go to 1-4. We really need to, yeah. So that's gonna be rough on them, but you know, it's still only week 3. There's still time. In fact, for now, that'll actually put Shack Tool's digging game in first place. Team Double Dippers and They Vetoed Our Acronym, having not played yet this week, also at 3-1 before this match started.
Dataplet finds that red mail in one of the chests that Hitaka skipped.
Nice. Yeah, I wonder if he checks that if Hitaka isn't already finished.
Yeah, Yeah, certainly at this point you've seen the the dot done in the race time window. You've maybe even typed in your GGs. You know you can relax and just finish this for the honor of the thing.
Yeah, I'd like to see runners finish.
All right, Dataplet dropping down for his pig fight.
All right, well, let's let this fight finish out. And also with that gold sword, those silver arrows. And he's got the red mail and a blue potion in his pocket. So this should not be a hard fight for him at all.
Yeah, more than 2 of those silver arrows even.
Yeah, he's got a full 21. He can miss,
Yeah.
he can miss like 17 times and still finish it out without having to do any kind of spins.
Okay, so in my defense,
and we will in fact be...
I noticed my arrow count was kind of low at the bottom at the start of climb, and I tried to get arrows from the pots in the second mimic room, but they didn't spawn.
Oh.
And then by the time I got to the top, I forgot.
Again.
So I blame that. I guess it was like a too many sprites thing, but I don't know. Does that count the entire super tile? Because there was basically nothing left on that screen.
Apparently. I have never seen that before, so...
And Dataplet, your math was right. He does in fact have 17 silver arrows left after a beautiful double-double to finish out the fight. Get your GGs in chat for Dataplet, coming in second place with an official race time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, 25 seconds.
GG's to Dataplet. Let's see if we can get him in here as well.
And while we wait for that, congratulations, Hitaka.
Thanks.
I'm curious. So we were sitting here watching the two of you both virtually simultaneously decide to head into the back of Thieves Town in search for one item. I'm curious about your decision-making process doing that and how you felt when it didn't pay out.
It was basically muscle memory. And then after I was already like in Hellway, I thought, oh wait, there's only one item in the back, but I've already come this far, so maybe it'll be an attic and I can just bail.
Yeah, the early game was a lot of similar paths where you would do one thing and he would do the other, and then you would switch. So like you into the mountain first, he went to South Shore first, and then you switched that up, and you hit Saha later, so he did that earlier.
Yeah.
And then you did Skull Woods and some of the North Dark World where he did Thieves, and then switched that up. But then the biggest part, I think the biggest factor here is you stayed out of Green Pendant Eastern.
Yeah, I was going to do that after Pod. I was going to do the Pod Eastern combo, but then Mix came up, so I just bailed on that to do mid stuff.
Yeah, so yeah, he got his mitts, and he went in there with a bow. He'd managed to pick up a bottle at Spike Cave, had just enough health.
Oh, Spike Cave had one.
Yeah, just enough health to get through the Spike Cave, and got his bottle there, so he was able to get those arrows before he went into Pod. So he did Pod Eastern all at once, and unfortunately for him, Pod had nothing. Or sorry, Eastern had nothing. Pod really didn't have anything either beyond those mitts, though.
Yeah. Did anyone find the lamp? I'm curious where that was.
Nope.
We figure one of the either Meyer, TR, one of those checks, Smith Chain. I think there's not a whole lot left beyond that.
Yeah, because the fire rod at Catfish puts the mitts in logic, so then Lamp can be pretty much anywhere outside GT.
Yep, pretty much.
And
Yeah.
after I got the bottle, I thought, well, I should go check that. And then I went into Desert, and then I got Flippers, and then I was to Swamp, and then when I was in Swamp, I thought, oh, I should check Bottle. Like every time I menued, like, quick swapped over the Bottle, I thought, oh, I should check that. But I didn't, like, it took me a while to actually remember that while I was on the overworld.
Yeah. Well, if you watch this back, you'll see one of your teammates being very worried about when you were going to go to Catfish and when you were going to check that bottle. So.
Yeah, when Swamp came up empty, then I decided to do the rest of the Flippers checks along with Catfish. So,
yeah, and for you, it was very advantageous. Getting to those flippers just make it so much more more enticing, because then you can just combine all that. And even though the flippers had nothing.
And things with like early boots, it's kind of tempting, especially with Flute immediately. You can just Flute to 8 and then just do Ice Rod Cave and then Water Walk over there. But since I had Flute, I could do that whenever I wanted instead of being more enticed to do that after mini Moldorm. So I decided to just put that off and see if Mirror turns up, which it did. And then you can combo that with Catfish, which makes Catfish way less isolated.
So another question for you: when you were cleaning up your dungeons once you got into Go mode, you did Desert, and then you did Skull Woods. Was that I saw the map check, so I was wondering if you were trying to figure out what was your last dungeon at that point.
At some point, I forgot Meyer was a crystal, and I think I thought Ice was a crystal and Meyer was a pendant.
Oops.
Which is why when I went into Ice Palace and then I like stopped for a second because the music kicked in and I thought, wait a second. But I was already in there and I wanted to chase Fire Red anyway, and with Icebreaker, ice is like so short that even if it's a pendant, it's really relatively quick 3 items, especially if one is not on Cold Stare. So I just ran with it, and hey, Quake was in there, so that worked out.
Yeah, and the items were in good places. You didn't even have to go to Ice Tea, so you got out of there pretty quickly. And then then Desert, Skull Woods, and then the map check to make sure. Because I confess, because I know you don't use a tracker, so I was wondering, okay, is he gonna remember to go to Meyer?
Yeah, I was counting. I was like going through the dungeons and counting how many I had left to do in my head, and it didn't like add up. And so I thought, wait, what were the pendants again? It was Eastern Thieves and no, Ice was a pendant. And then I checked again and like, yeah, Meyer's a crystal. Okay, let's go do that. That actually, that's why I didn't go into Meyer earlier, just because I forgot it was a crystal. I went up to Dark Death Mountain first, which, I mean, I wanted to do that anyway to check the medallion to see if I needed another one or not. And then Ice Rod was up there anyway, so that worked out.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of just getting that knowledge of those medallions. So yeah, we had no idea where that Quake or sorry, no idea where that Ether or that bomb was for. We just don't care. They're somewhere out there in the world. All right. So.
And Trinex. I don't know what happened with Trinex. It made the Ice Head or the Fire Head. It made like the hit sound like. Wow. It did that 3 times and then didn't die.
It looked like, because we didn't have your audio at the time. But it looked like it was good, and then we're like, wait a minute, it didn't explode.
Yeah, and then it didn't, and then I did the other head, and then like went back, and then by then everything was just, foobar. So.
Yeah, shoutouts to the fairy.
Good thing I had a fairy.
All right, so.
Sorry for giving Ashtor a heart attack.
You might have given him a few.
After I finished in real time and I popped in, that was like happened right when I turned the stream on. Was me dying and Ashtor going Jesus in chat.
Yeah. Oh gosh. So your team's now 4-1, taking that first place lead in the division, pending other races to come. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, especially because I have the next 3 weeks off. It's going to be Astronauty for those weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if you have next week completely off. I don't know. I don't recall if you're playing in the Link to the Past SG Live. I know you're doing the SMZ3 SG Live, so.
Yeah. Well, the next 4 weeks off then. Wow, spoilers. Oh, sorry, I ruined the big surprise.
But yeah, anything else you want to add before we start closing this out?
I'm trying to remember anything else funny happened early on, but I don't think so. No, that's about it. Thanks for commentating and tracking.
Yep. Thank you, Hitaka. And GG's again. Also, GG's to Dataplet, who doesn't look like he's going to be joining us today.
Yeah, he hasn't said anything in the race time chat, so I don't know.
Yep. But also, yeah, thank you, Hitaka and Dataplet, for giving us a really nice race. That was a good one. It came down to.
He's in the SG Live or the stream chat. He has no mic.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't like that bolus crystal pot. GG's to you, Dataplet, and good luck on your next races. But yeah, that's there's still a lot of, if you're not tired of Randomizer, we still have a lot of races to go this evening. Let me pull up the.
Yeah, we have an absolutely packed schedule all over the Speed Gaming network of channels. Also, twitch.tv/the ALTTPR League. We've got running right now on Speed Gaming Prime, Wu-Tang Clan versus the Immortals, Solski versus Jilla Ninja. Starting, should have just started, I believe, on Speed Gaming 2, Werfjig versus Willard J. Bradley. Over on the ALTTPR League, we got Swerve versus Jay Meisher. That should also be starting right around now, maybe just a couple minutes ago. And in a half an hour on Speed Gaming Prime, Apathy Duck versus Duke Firebird. We've got another one here on Speed Gaming 3 later on at 9:10 Eastern. Simul running with Speed Gaming 4, Freddy versus Chex Human. That is all tonight, and tomorrow's looking pretty packed too.
A whole lot more. Yeah, a lot still to come this weekend. And if this isn't enough, we got a whole lot of SG Live Link to the Past coming up in the next week. With that being one of the money tournaments, one of the main tournaments that is going to culminate in over the weekend with the top bracketed runners that get through groups. So a lot of Link to the Past coming up. It's a great time to be a Link to the Past fan.
Absolutely. Well, big thanks to both of our runners. Thank you to our restreamers, to our trackers.
Well, especially to Reg, our tracker. Cannot do this without the trackers. Can't say enough about what they do for us on these streams. Link to the Past is hard to track, and I think it's easy to talk about, but definitely harder to keep track of everything. And Reg keeping us on point so we know where everything is.
Absolutely. Also, there's two of us filling the airtime. He's over there tracking by himself. So.
Yep.
The unsung heroes that make all of this possible.
But yeah, that'll do it for us. We'll see you over on one or the other channels, because I know I'm gonna be tuning into one of these races. Don't know which one, but they're all bound to be good.
Absolutely. Good night, everybody.